Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Cambridge O Level Physics Paper 1 Multiple Choice Questions. Course Code 5054. Paper 1 Version 1. May June 2021. Duration of exam is 1 hour and total questions are 40. Formation of this solution is as follows. In the pages to follow, in the left half of the page, you will see the question statement and the solution will be discussed in the right half of the page. Question number 1. A list of various quantities is shown. How many of these quantities are vectors? Vector quantities are physical quantities that have both magnitude and direction. In the given list, for physical quantities, acceleration, displacement, force, and velocity are vector quantities. Option C. Question number 2. A student determines the circumference of a football. Which instrument gives a reading that is the circumference of the football? Tape measures curved lengths like waist of a human, circumference of an arm, or circumference of a football. Option D is the answer. Question number 3. A train sets off from a station at time t is equal to 0. The graph shows how the distance between the train and the station varies with time. Which statement about the movement of the train between time t1 and time t2 is correct? As can be seen from the graph, at time t is equal to 0, the train is at the station. At time t1, the train is at maximum distance away from the station as the vertical length of the curve is the largest. However, the slope of the graph is almost 0 at and around time t is equal to t1. Hence, the speed of the train is minimum at the maximum distance. From time t1 to t2, the speed of the train is increasing and is moving towards the station as the length of the curve is continuously decreasing. Option D is the answer. Question number 4. A coin falls from rest through the air and eventually reaches a constant speed. There is a resultant force acting on the coin due to the two forces P and Q shown in the figure. What happens to force P and what happens to the resultant force before the coin reaches constant speed? The resultant force on the coin is Q minus P. At start, the coin falls with a constant downward force Q equal to its weight. Q is equal to mg. As the coin falls, its downward velocity increases continuously due to g is equal to 10 meter per second square. And as a result, the upward force P increases continuously due to increase in air resistance acting upwards. Hence, the resultant force Q minus P acting on the coin decreases because Q is constant and P is increasing? Option C is the answer. Question number 5. A satellite is shown moving around the Earth in a circular path at a constant speed. Which arrow shows the direction of the force on the satellite? Any motion in a curved path represents accelerated motion, and the accelerated motion requires a force directed towards the center of the curvature of the path. This force is called the centripetal force, which means center seeking force. D is the gravitational force of the Earth that keeps the satellite in circular orbit. Option D is the answer. Question number 6. Which row shows the mass and the weight of an object on the Earth's surface? The gravitational field strength G is equal to 10 Newton per kilogram. On Earth's surface, the gravitational field strength is 10 Newton per kg. We know that G is equal to weight over mass. And for option D, the gravitational field strength is 50 Newton divided by 5 kg, which is 10 Newton per kg. So option D is the answer. Question number 7. Water is added to a measuring cylinder containing 100 centimeter cube of liquid paraffin. The density of paraffin is 0.80 gram per centimeter cube, and that of the water is 1 gram per centimeter cube. As the water is added, the level of the paraffin rises to 150 centimeter cube. The paraffin and water do not mix. What finally is the total mass of liquid in the measuring cylinder? The volume of paraffin is given as 100 centimeter cube. Density of paraffin is 0.8 gram per centimeter cube. Mass of paraffin is 100 centimeter cube multiplied with 0.8 gram per centimeter cube is equal to 80 gram. Volume of water is equal to final volume of liquid minus initial volume of liquid. 150 centimeter cube minus 100 centimeter cube is equal to 50 centimeter cube. Density of water is 1 gram per centimeter cube. So the mass of water is 50 centimeter cube, that is the volume, multiplied with 1 gram per centimeter cube, that is density of water, and the mass of water is 50 gram. Total mass of liquid is 80 gram plus 50 gram, that is 130 gram. Option A is the answer. Question number 8. A horizontal beam is pivoted at X. A mass of 200 gram rests on the beam as shown. The center of mass of the beam is 50 centimeter from the right hand end of the beam. The beam is balanced. What is the mass of the beam? We know that under balanced or equilibrium conditions, sum of anti-clockwise moments is equal to sum of clockwise moments. That is 200 gram multiplied with 20 centimeter on the left hand side of the pivot is equal to the mass of the beam multiplied with 10 centimeter on the right hand side of the beam, because the center of beam is 10 centimeter away from the pivot, and the mass of beam after calculation is 400 gram. So option C is the answer. Question number 9. Where on the graph is the limit of proportionality for an elastic solid? The graph between extension and load is given, and there are two regions on the curve of this graph. One is OP. OP is a linear line, and the other one is PQ. PQ is a non-linear curve. Before P, the elastic solid operates in the linear region and extension is proportional to the load. After P, the elastic solid operates in non-linear region and the solid deforms permanently. Before P, Hooke's law is applicable, and after P, Hooke's law is not applicable. P is the limit of proportionality. Option B. Question number 10. A sealed gas syringe contains a fixed mass of gas. The piston is moved and the volume of the gas doubles. The temperature of the gas does not change. What happens to the pressure of the gas? The final volume of the gas is V2, which is equal to 2V1. From Boyle's law, we know that P1V1 is equal to P2V2, or initial pressure multiplied with initial volume is equal to final pressure multiplied with the final volume, provided the temperature is constant. From this equation, the final pressure P2 is P1V1 over V2. So final pressure P2 is P1V1, and replace V2 with the final volume, that is 2V1. After calculation, the final pressure P2 is P1 over 2. So if the volume of the gas doubles, the pressure of the gas becomes 1/2. Option A is the answer. Question number 11. Which expression for pressure is correct? We know that pressure is force per unit area. Option B is the answer. Question number 12. At a depth D in seawater, the total pressure experienced by a driver is 2P, where P is at atmospheric pressure. At which depth is the pressure 4P? We know that the underwater pressure becomes double when the depth of water becomes double. At 3D, the underwater pressure is 3P, and the total pressure is P plus 3P, which is equal to 4P. Total pressure is underwater pressure plus atmospheric pressure. Option C is the answer. We can also look into the table. For depth D, the underwater pressure is P, atmospheric pressure is P, so total pressure is 2P. For depth 2D, underwater pressure is 2P, atmospheric pressure is still P, and total pressure is 3P. In last row, the depth is 3D, so underwater pressure is 3P, atmospheric pressure is still P, and the total pressure is 4P. Question number 13. The work done by a force F on a body is calculated by multiplying F by a quantity Q. What is Q? We know that work done is equal to force multiplied with the distance, where the distance traveled is in the direction of applied force. Option A is the answer, because Q is the distance traveled in the direction of the force. Question number 14. Some solar panels have a total area of 12 meters square. Each 1 meter square of the panels receive 0.85 kilojoule of energy from the sun in 1 second. The efficiency of the panels is 16%. How much power do they produce? Total power of panels, total area of panels is 12 meters square because there are 12 panels and the area of each panel is 1 meter square. So the total area of 12 panels is 12 meters square. Energy received by 1 meter square panel per second is given as 0.85 kilojoule. So the total energy received by 12 panels of area 12 meter square per second is 12 multiplied with 0.85 kilojoule, and that is 10.2 kilojoule. Now the power produced is given as total energy multiplied with time multiplied with the efficiency, and the efficiency of the solar panel is 16%. So efficiency is 0.16, total energy is 10.2 kilojoule, and time is in second. After calculation, the power produced is 1.6 kilowatt. Option A is the answer. Question number 15. A copper rod is heated at one end. Which statement describes how heat transfers occur in the copper? The copper is a conductor and has free electrons. When one end of the copper is heated, the free electrons gain kinetic energy, and those energetic free electrons move from the hotter end to the cooler end. Option D is the answer. Question number 16. The diagram shows a clinical thermometer. Which factor affects the sensitivity of the thermometer? The bore contains the mercury that expands when temperature rises and contracts when temperature drops, and the diameter of the bore affects the sensitivity of the thermometer. Option B is the answer. Question number 17. Which row is correct for a thermocouple thermometer? The thermocouple thermometer measures very high temperatures and responds very quickly to change in temperature. So option D is the answer. Question number 16. Question number 18. What is the heat capacity of a body? It is question number 18. The heat capacity of a body is the amount of thermal energy required to raise the temperature of the body by 1 degree Celsius. So option B is the answer. Question number 19. Which statement about water is correct? At the boiling point, water vapor molecules have the same kinetic energy as liquid water molecules. So option A is the answer. Question number 20. A water wave in a ripple tank refracts as it moves from deep water into shallow water. What happens to the speed and to the frequency of the wave as it moves into shallower water? At shallower water, the distance between the waves is less as compared in deep water, as can be seen from the figure. Hence, the speed of the wave is slow in shallow water. However, the frequency of the wave remains unchanged. Option A is the answer. Question number 21. Light refracts from a liquid into air as shown. The refractive index for light moving from air to the liquid is 1.4. What is the angle of incidence in the liquid? By Snell's law, Ni sin I is equal to N2 sin R, where N1 is 1.4, that is the refractive index of the liquid. N2 is equal to 1, which is refractive index of the air. Angle R, the refractive angle is taken with respect to the normal, and that is 90 degree minus 32 degree. So the angle of refraction is 58. Now 1.4 multiplied with sin I is equal to 1 multiplied with sine of 58. So sin I here is 0.6057. After taking the inverse sine, the I is 37 degree and I is the incidence angle. Option B is the answer. Question number 22. A ray of red light in air enters a semicircular block. Which diagram shows the partial reflection and the refraction of the ray? Reflection is defined as the angle of incidence of an incident ray is equal to the angle of reflection of the reflected ray. Whereas refraction is defined as when a ray of light is escaping or refracting into air from glass, the refracted ray will bend away from the normal. Because the speed of ray of light in air is higher, since the refractive index of the air is the least and air is less denser medium. As the velocity of the ray of light is larger or the highest in the air, so it will bend away from the normal. Option D is the answer. Question number 23. Which statement about human vision is correct? The short sight occurs when light coming from distant objects from images in front of the retina. Short sight is corrected by the use of diverging lens. Option D is the answer. Question number 24. White light enters a prism and forms a spectrum. The rays in the air are labeled. Which diagram shows how the white light is dispersed by the prism? When white light enters into the prism, it dispersed into 7 colors or wavelengths, and the red wavelength is the least refracted when the 7 wavelengths pass into the air. Option C is the answer. Question number 25. The sound from a ship is reflected by a cliff. An echo is heard by a sailor on the ship 4 seconds after the sound is made. The speed of sound in air is 320 meters per second. How far from the cliff is the ship? The echo time is given as 4 seconds. The one-way time is therefore half of the echo time, and that is t is equal to 2 seconds. The velocity of sound in air is given as 320 meters per second. So the distance is given as time multiplied with the velocity. And the distance is 640 meter, and this is one-way distance. So distance is to 640 meter. Option B is the answer. Question number 26. Index of a metal rod attracts the north pole of a compass needle. Which statement about the rod is correct? Copper is not attracted by the magnet. Index of a metal rod attracts the north pole of a compass needle. The metal rod is made of steel that is not initially magnetized. Option C is the answer. Question number 27. Which diagram shows the pattern and direction of the electric field lines near a positive charge? The electric field lines direction and pattern for positive charge is outward and in all direction. Option A is the answer. Question number 26. A positively charged Question number 28. A positively charged rod is held close to an insulated metal sphere. The sphere is earthed as shown. The earth connection is removed and then the rod is removed. Which diagram shows the charges on the sphere after the rod is removed? As can be seen from the diagram in the question, the positive charges are earthed when the rod is near to the metal sphere, and negative charges are uniformly distributed on metal sphere when the earth connection and the positive charge rod are removed afterwards. Option C is the answer. Question number 29. The diagram shows an electrostatic precipitator. It can be used to remove dust from air. What happens at the negative grid? At negative grid, the dust particles gain electrons. Option A is the answer. Question number 30. A 100 kilowatt lamp is switched on for 5 hours each day for 3 weeks. The cost of 1 unit of electricity is $0.24. How much does it cost to run the lamp for this time? We know 100 watt is zero point 0.1 kilowatt. Power consumption in kilowatt hour therefore is zero point 0.1 kilowatt multiplied with 5 hour multiplied with 21 days, and that is 10.5 kilowatt hour. We know that 1 unit of electricity consumption is equal to 1 kilowatt hour. So cost of the electricity consumption is total units, that is 10.5 multiplied with the cost of 1 unit, that is $0.24, and the total cost is $2.52. Option C is the answer. Question number 31. The information on the back of an electric room heater is shown. What is a suitable fuse rating for the room heater? The operating range of the current of the device is 4.2 amperes. So the fuse rating should be 20 to 25% higher than the electric room heater current rating. So how we calculate the fuse rating? 20% of 4.2. 4.2 is the current rating of the room heater. So 25% of the 4.2 plus the rating, that is 4.2, and the sum is 5 ampere. Option C is the answer. The diagram shows a horizontal rectangular wire coil WXYZ between the poles of a magnet. There is a current in the coil in the direction shown. Which statement is correct? As you can see from the diagram given in the question, that the magnetic field direction is towards south pole and the direction of current flowing is from W to X and it is downward. The Fleming's left hand rule tells us that the direction of magnetic field is by the index finger and the direction of current is shown by the direction of middle finger, and then the direction of measurement of force is shown by the thumb, the direction of thumb. And remember, the thumb as well as the index finger as well as the middle finger, all three are 90° to each other. Option A is the answer. Question number 33. Which energy transfer takes place in an electric kettle? In electric kettle, the input energy is electrical energy, and that input electrical energy converts into heat or thermal energy. Option B is the answer. The diagram shows a current carrying conductor between the poles of a magnet. The force on the wire acts downwards. Four changes are possible. Which two changes made together keep the force acting downwards? Okay, we know that to reverse the direction of the force, either we have to reverse the direction of current or we have to exchange the pole's position. However, if both current direction as well as pole positions are reversed, then the direction of force remains unchanged. Option D is the answer. Question number 35. In an alternating current AC generator, a magnet rotates near a coil of wire. The induced electromotive force EMF in the coil is displayed on an oscilloscope screen. Which trace is produced as the magnet shows down? As the magnet slows down, the amplitude of the voltage drops. In option D, the amplitude of the voltage is being dropped. So option D is the answer. Question number 36. A student uses a transformer to light a filament lamp using a 230 volt AC supply. The lamp has a maximum voltage rating of 6 volt. What happens when the circuit is switched on? Transformer works on the AC supply. The number of turns in the primary coil are 300 and the number of turns in the secondary coil are 20. Primary voltage is 230 volt and we have to find the secondary voltage first. We know the formula, that is primary turns over secondary turns is equal to primary voltage over secondary voltage. Using the data values, the secondary voltage is calculated as 11.5 volt. Now the output voltage of the transformer as calculated is 11.5 volt, whereas the bulb or the lamp which is connected to the output of the secondary, the rating of that lamp is 6 volt. As the rating of lamp is less than the feed voltage, or the feed voltage is greater than the rating of the lamp initially lights up brightly and then will go out. Option D is the answer. Question number 37. Which statement about nuclear fusion is correct? Nuclear fusion process occurs in number 1, at the center of the sun, number 2, during the formation of stars, and number 3, during the explosion of hydrogen bomb. Option C is the answer. Question number 38. In one radioactive decay, radium 226 decays to radon 222 as shown. Which particles are also produced? The nuclear disintegration process that emits alpha particles is called alpha decay. Alpha particles always have 2 protons and 2 neutrons. 2 protons means the atomic number of the alpha particle is 2, whereas 2 protons plus 2 neutrons means the atomic weight of the alpha particle is 4. So if we see the equation, the disintegration process equation, then the atomic weight is decreased by 4 from 226 to 222, whereas atomic number is decreased by 2 from 88 to 86. And in this process, an alpha particle is released whose atomic mass is 4 and whose atomic number is 2. So decay in mass number is 226 minus 222, which is equal to 4. Here it is 222. And decay in atomic number is 88 minus 86, which is 2. And that formation is for alpha particle. So option B is the answer. Question number 39. The count rate from a radioactive source falls from 4000 counts per minute to 500 counts per minute in 72 minutes. What is the half-life of the source? The initial count rate is 4000. After half-life cycle, count rate is 2000. After 2 half-life cycle, count rate is 1000. After 3 half-life cycle, the count rate is 500. After every half-life cycle, the count rate becomes half. It means after 3 half-life cycle, the count rate will become 500. And 3 half-life cycle completes in 72 minutes. So it means 1 half-life cycle will complete in 72 over 3, that is 24 minutes. Hence, the half-life cycle of the source is 24 minutes. Option D is the answer. Last question. Question number 40. Which particles are found inside the nucleus of an atom? The atomic mass or nuclear mass of an element is due to the sum of neutrons and protons in the nucleus. Neutrons and protons are present in nucleus. So option D is the answer.